Thanks, Speaker. Speaker, what are we now? About 28, 30 days past when this thing was supposed to be done. I'm not going to make this a political bombing run. I'm going to get down in the weeds and cut this to building blocks. I'm a member of the Appropriations Committee. We watch revenue collections. Last year, the state took in roughly $30.2 billion. Accordingly, the budget that was lawfully passed by both houses of the legislature on 30 June kept that spending below the 30.2, meeting the constitutional obligation that we file balanced budgets. Mr. Speaker, I will tell you point blank, as one of the guys on the quote-unquote inside, we got real lucky with a real great first half in revenue collections that let us do things that people didn't expect we could do. We took the amount of money going into our schools to record levels beyond those of the superinflated stimulus years, which, by the way, all 498 school districts knew would expire in 3 years. I have a copy of the letter that went out to all of them. They all knew it was going away. To their credit, they made everything work as they could make it work. Now, Mr. Speaker, I got a question. Every month, me and the missus sit down and we've got our whole slate of bills we have to pay. Luckily, we can. But, Mr. Speaker, if she'd go out and buy another car and throw another $500 or $600 into the withdrawal from our monthly checking account, we probably couldn't handle that. So what does that do? We have one of two solutions. Either she or I could go get an additional job to raise more money so we could afford that additional car, or we've got to strike it from the plan and make do with what we've got. I think it is just unconscionable to tell people we can spend what we don't have. Now, I heard from my friend, the gentleman in Lancaster, that the governor put up a revenue plan, how we could pay for all these increased funding levels. Funny thing, Speaker, nobody voted for it. Not a soul. Zero. And I'm not saying Republican or Democrat, I'm saying not a breathing organic life form inside this room voted for it. Now here's the thing. Is this a third of a budget? Yeah, we're right out and open with what it is. This is 1/3 of what we already passed. Hopefully with another 2/3 yet to come. But when the rubber hits the road and people go home, and those guys in those agencies and those business planners for our school districts who are sweating bullets right now, Speaker, when they sit down and start thinking about when is the state going to ride in like the cavalry and refill the pot, I want everybody who is watching on PCN to look at it tonight. You're not allowed to see who votes how, but you can request those. They are public record. The yes votes are the people who are voting to get 1/3 of the allotted state money going to the schools and social services in each one of the respective 67 counties. The ones who vote no are saying denied. We don't want to do that. That brings up a whole nother anecdotal, and I'm going to try to close early. Mr. Speaker, if you've ever been on a boat and you've seen somebody out there bobbing in the water, waving their arms and yelling for help, they don't care if the Carnival cruise line pulls up. All they want's a rope. And that's what we're doing today. We're buying time. We are throwing them a rope so they can keep delivering what we expect them to deliver. We can talk about the other stuff later. You want to talk about talks and severance and getting $188 million, that's fine and good. But how about you tell people the rest of the story, that the other $11 billion is coming out of our pockets? Yeah, you got a great spending plan. Show me the fortitude to put the votes up for it. Vote yes on SB 1000. Allow us to continue the mission of offering services and education as our Constitution tells us we should. Do the responsible thing. Please vote yes.